Welcome to the Stevia Show. It's the Stevia Show. Helping you expand on what you know. Throw in a meme of the week and a review of the screen. And you have a show that covers everything.
Hey, Team Stevia, and welcome to episode 82 of the Stevia Show.
Talk show podcast that covers pop culture, world news, local artistry, and everything in between.
As always, things don't change. I'm Steven.
And this is Lydia.
And we hope everybody is having a great day. Sorry for the lack of episode last week. We just wanted to make sure the Black Lives Matter episode was readily available for everybody to hear because of how important it was. And we would like to thank our panel of Jacob, Alexis, Nash, and Greg for a wonderful discussion. And y'all are welcome back anytime. I feel like we all learned a lot during that episode.
That was awesome. That was one of my favorite episodes for sure.
I think, honestly, that probably was my favorite episode we've done. I mean, of course, it wasn't the most fun thing to talk about. I mean, it's important to talk about, but all of the tragedy that came with it and things like that.
It was more of a serious,
Right.
Yeah, it was more of a serious conversation, but it definitely needed to be had, and
Absolutely.
it was good. It was a good episode.
Absolutely, yeah. I really enjoyed recording it, and the four of them, whether it's all four of them or individual, you all are welcome back anytime to talk about whatever you want, and we would be more than happy to have you. So we are back on regular programming today, and since we did miss the meme of the week last week, and since we took the week off, we are a bit behind. So basically, Dalton Purse, he won 1 week, and then I won 2 weeks in a row. So that's rad. So I am the current. I'm the current
Exen over there.
Yeah, so I'm the current edgelord in the Discord, so we are all good there. And Lydia, you do have media for us today, is that correct?
I do. We watched My Friend Dahmer on. I don't remember what it was on, but it was on Amazon, maybe. Oh, that sucks. Sorry. Anyways,
No worries.
so basically, it's called My Friend Dahmer. It's the true haunting story of young Jeffrey Dahmer, the shy adolescent in high school who becomes a notorious serial killer years later. Rotten Tomatoes actually gave it an 86%, and I thought that was kind of high. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. It was just like, I mean, if you know about Jeffrey Dahmer, you know it was cool learning about what he was like as a kid, because I feel like we always wonder like how serial killers actually become serial killers. And watching this movie, you really get to think your childhood has like a huge impact on the person you become. What was kind of strange was that he didn't have, like in today's world, he didn't have that weird of upbringing. Like his parents fought a lot, and they got divorced his senior year of high school, which I guess, you know, that could be really crazy. But his dad was a chemist, so basically he would collect dead animals and then use his dad's like chemistry stuff to melt the skin off the bones, is how it started.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of crazy. But I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. It was good. Kind of interesting to learn more about, you know, the childhood of Jeffrey Dahmer, but I don't have to watch it. Like, it's not anything that's like super great.
Gotcha. Now, is it like a dramatization of it, or is it more of a documentary?
Dramatization, yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's based off of just like the tales his friends, I put that in quotes, in high school, like told after. They were like, yeah, he was always a weird kid, and this is why. Like,
yeah.
And it like tells the story that way, kind of like, you know, just as a movie, not really documentary style.
Okay, cool, gotcha. So, so not really worth watching in your opinion.
I mean, it was fine.
Gotcha. Probably if like you're bored and nothing else is on, type sort of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. We were like, well,
okay.
Nothing else is on. Might as well watch it.
Gotcha. All right, so we can go ahead and get started with our main segment. I think we actually have quite a bit to talk about today, and not all of it is negative, surprisingly. So that's great. So the first thing is we would like to wish all of Team Stevia and everybody a happy Pride Month. So all of June is known as Pride Month. It originated to commemorate the Stonewall riots, which occurred at the end of June in 1969. As a result, many Pride events are held during the month to recognize the impact the LGBTQIA plus people have had in the world. So happy Pride Month from us to you all, and be safe and enjoy it.
Yes, and we also want to wish a happy Juneteenth to everyone. We know that this episode is going to air on June 15th, but so we won't be back for the 19th. But the Stevia Show wishes all of Team Stevia a happy Juneteenth, the day in which the last slaves in Texas were freed.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously a monumental day, because a lot of people think that just because the Civil War ended and Abraham Lincoln, incorporated that into the Constitution, that it was automatically all fixed, and it wasn't, because Texas was, Texas at the time was actually very sparsely populated. So basically, it took a while for the news to reach there, and fortunately, it did reach there, and all the slaves in Texas were freed. And I'll go ahead and let you do the COVID-19 update, because you've been doing that for the past few months. So go ahead.
Sure. So COVID-19 worldwide, we've hit over 7 million cases. We're almost at 8 million cases. We're at 7,820,023 cases with 430,692 deaths. Here in the USA, we have 2,075,840 cases with 115,448 deaths. Here in Oklahoma, we have 7,848 cases and 359 deaths. Iowa, we have 23,350 cases and 644 deaths. Unemployment claims have skyrocketed again, and we've surpassed above 36 million people have filed for unemployment due to COVID-19.
Yeah,
Easy times.
Yeah, very sad deal for sure. And didn't Tulsa County or Oklahoma as a whole see a spike? I don't have the figures off the top of my head. Do you know by chance?
Yes. So we've actually had the most COVID cases the last 2 days in a row this past week. So it was over 220.
Gotcha. And obviously that's probably because people aren't wearing masks and they're just going about willy-nilly, right?
Right. People just think that it's gone, and it's not gone. And a lot of these, a lot of the news has been trying to get as because of the protests, but it's actually, these are the numbers from, you have to remember that it takes 2 weeks. So they're actually from Memorial Day.
Right.
The Memorial Day weekend is how it has spiked so much, because everybody went out. And so 4th of July is coming up. We have had a lot of these protests with hundreds of thousands of people in the streets.
Yeah.
So yes, in the next 2 weeks, we probably will see another big spike because of those things. And then 4th of July, I feel like, is going to be another one as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you for that update, Lydia. Hopefully everybody, even if you are going out and about, of course, no judgments here, unless you're not wearing a mask and not social distancing, then you will receive judgments here.
Then I'll probably judge you.
Right.
Just remember to wear a mask. People can still give you the coronavirus or COVID-19. You can still get it. There's still not a cure for it.
Right.
By the way, it's not fun to have the test. Okay.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
I had the test, and it is worse than the flu test. So with the flu, they stick it back.
Yeah.
With the COVID test, they stuck it up.
Ugh,
and there's something they put something on the tip of it where it feels like they just squirted your whole entire brain with freaking chlorine, and it burns for 10 minutes.
Ugh. So
guys, just to avoid having to have the test, I would do anything. So please just wear a mask.
Yeah. So on today's episode of things we didn't really want to know, but it's informative, we have that. So basically,
that's that.
Yeah. So basically, wear your mask, stay 6 feet away, all that fun stuff. Just because, like I said, that we decided that we were bored with coronavirus doesn't mean that it's gone. So just of course, stay safe. Basically. So moving on down the list, we do have, of course, really good impacts from the Black Lives Matter movement. So we have some really cool things here. I guess we can just kind of popcorn them off. So first off, all 50 states and multiple countries have rallied together in protest of George Floyd's death. Many believe that this is the first time in U.S. history that all 50 states have come together for one common cause. This is definitely the first thing that I can remember in my lifetime anyway, where it's been all across the country. Because of course, whenever gay marriage was legalized, you of course had some, in the deep South who weren't really all about that, and you had that woman who would deny marriage licenses. But here we have all 50 states joining in protest, which is amazing for that.
It is amazing. It's amazing to watch. Next on the docket, we have Breonna Taylor Law, or Breonna's Law. This law will ban no-knock warrants in Louisville, Kentucky. Breonna Taylor was killed by the police on March 13th after 3 officers used a no-knock warrant to enter her apartment with a battering ram during a late-night drug investigation. The officers shot her at least 8 times. They have not been charged, fueling widespread protests in Louisville and in cities across the country. And just to add on top of that, too, is they weren't even at the right house. So
right.
you just charged in and then shot her.
Right, which is an absolute travesty. And then, of course, her boyfriend or husband, I forget what, but he tried firing at the police for breaking in the house, and he was charged with attempted murder, which that's now been dropped. But it's like, just because they're the police, if they illegally break into your house, like, you have every right, or you should have every right.
You better believe.
Right.
Yeah, you better believe that somebody's going to shoot back at you if you have no right to be there.
Right, exactly. Like, okay, yeah, so like the next time a burglar comes into my house, instead of, cracking them with a baseball bat, I'm just going to be like, oh yeah, come in. If you want to shoot me, my dogs,
pal.
Yeah, if you want to shoot me, Hogan, Austin, Abby, by all means, this is your house, like, make yourself at home. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Make yourself at home.
So
it's my couch.
Yeah, here, yeah. You want a cup of coffee, anything like that? Yeah. So also in cool news, or I think this is cool, everybody's least favorite participation trophies, which are statues of Confederate soldiers and generals, are being torn down throughout the country and are continuing to be torn down and are being thrown in rivers, which I think is super cool. Now, of course, I do think
fun to watch.
Yeah, it is fun to watch. Now, of course, the Confederacy was a embarrassing but also important part of our history. So, like, they should belong in museums, but we should not be commemorating these traitors in public spaces and honoring them with participation trophies. So, death to the Confederacy, and I'm glad that we're seeing these people being thrown in the river. So that's cool.
Me too. NASCAR has banned flying the Confederate flag at all of its events. So that is a huge win, I would say, because we all know NASCAR is like one of the more racy sports out there.
that was a good pun. It's a racy sport, not only because it's a race, but also because of the Confederate flags. So that
racing.
Yeah. So I actually saw a really good meme. So there are people who are calling this time in history America's divorce, which makes a lot of sense. I
love that.
Yeah. So it says it's funny because the left got NASCAR and the right got Harry Potter, because J.K. Rowling has been making some stupid comments about basically being exclusive to certain populations. And yeah, so it's weird seeing how things are flipping around like that. And we kind of covered this 2 weeks ago, or maybe we just talked about it personally. But the NFL has apologized for how they previously handled protesting in regards to Colin Kaepernick and other players kneeling during the national anthem, and pledged $250 million to combat systemic racism. So even though Roger Goodell was late to the party, thankfully he is doing what he can to rectify that mistake and is pledging this money to combat social issues that we have here in the United States.
Definitely. So those were only just a few things that we thought were important to bring up during the Black Lives Matter movement that is currently going on. You can sign a petition for sustainable change in your communities and donate to the cause at blacklivesmatter.com.
Yes, absolutely. Lydia and I have both signed that petition, and we encourage everybody to do so because it is important. And in case you haven't noticed, this past just 2 or 3 weeks of protesting has accomplished more than any election has in, I'd say, forever. So if the people start talking, people start listening, and that is what we have to do at this point. So continue to advocate for change. And just because, if the results in November do indeed elect Trump out of office, this fight is nowhere close to over, so keep on advocating for positive change. And speaking of the election, Biden's vice presidential list has narrowed to 6 individuals, allegedly. So the Washington Post reported on June 14th that those in consideration for Biden's VP slot are as follows: Senator Kamala Harris of California, former national security advisor and ambassador to the United Nations under Barack Obama, Susan Rice of Washington, D.C., Florida Representative Val Demings of Orlando, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, and New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham of course, New Mexico. So my take on this is that if this list is indeed accurate, kudos to Biden for narrowing it down to 5 women of color. The only woman who is not of color in that list is Elizabeth Warren. The other 5 are either African American or Hispanic American. Hispanic
American. Yes.
Thank you.
Good job.
I don't know why that was so hard. But anyway.
6 times the charm.
Yeah, thank you. Something like that. So, of course, if this list is accurate, kudos to Biden for narrowing it down to these 6 women, with 5 of them being diverse. I think that's outstanding, and everybody knows my opinion on Joe Biden, so I think this is a step in the right direction. And speaking of positive protests, what happened here in Tulsa, Lydia?
Yeah, so President Trump originally planned a rally for Tulsa on June 19th, which is Juneteenth, as we talked about previously. Day the last slaves were freed. After facing considerable criticism, Trump decided to move the rally to June 20th, which I believe is a huge win on the Tulsans' part, because that coming here on that day was not okay.
Oh, no, it wasn't. Especially, of course, this is where, as many of us may have learned for the first time with our last episode, where the Tulsa Race Massacre happened on, well, it didn't happen, we're during the 99th anniversary of it, and coming especially on Juneteenth, that, of course, would not have been very, very appropriate. And I'm actually kind of surprised that he moved it. I mean, of all people,
doesn't move a lot of things.
No, and Donald Trump is, for better or for oftentimes worse, he is very bullheaded. So I am surprised that he did indeed move it. So, and going on, Biden and Trump have both accused the other of trying to cheat in the election. So this is, of course, to be expected. Biden is accusing Trump of suppressing votes, especially people in disadvantaged areas, by trying to disallow voting by mail and taking advantage of gerrymandered communities in states like Georgia and Pennsylvania, where Trump is accusing Biden of trying to use voting by mail to encourage voting fraud, which, for those of you playing at home, voting fraud is very rare. I believe it's a very small percentage of individuals who actually vote commit voter fraud, so that's kind of a non-issue. So that is what we're having going on here. And then finally, this one kind of surprised me, is in an interview with Fox News just on Friday, June 12th, that Donald Trump said, quote, "Certainly if I don't win, I don't win. I mean, go on and do other things," which to me, that is surprising, because I definitely have thought that if Trump does indeed lose, he would, of course, not take it well. I don't think that, there would have been like a military coup or anything like that. But
Biden said he was like, if Trump loses, I swear we're going to have to take the military to get him out of the White House.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the funniest thing, because I was like, I can imagine Trump like kicking and screaming like a baby out of the White House, you know, like, you're not going to take me.
Yeah, I mean, especially whenever the White House is kind of like your retirement home. You have one old man coming in and you have one senile old man replacing the other senile old man.
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, what are you doing? Get me now. I need to stay here."
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But I mean, honestly, to me, that's surprising that Trump said that, especially with things that are recently going on. Maybe he's tired of being president. I doubt it, but that's still...
No, he loves it way too much.
Well, I know, but that's still so, it's so unexpected coming out of him that he would, at this point...
Do you also watch him? Have you watched the video of him going down the slope? It came from when he gave his speech for the army something or another. You see that?
No, I didn't, but what's up?
Oh, he did not look very good walking down that slope.
Oh, did he like... Oh,
it's actually on Twitter. It's trending. It's trending on Twitter. The hashtag is... The hashtag is... Oh, did it go away? Oh, Trump is unwell.
Okay, gotcha. So I will need to watch that then. And
need to watch it, because he's like... He looks like he's struggling.
Oh, wow.
Like at some points in time, it looks like he wants to grab the general, but he like doesn't.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. I'll need to watch that because that looks pretty bad just from seeing your screen. But speaking,
And then he like runs down the last 10 steps.
he jetting on along, yeah. But speaking of the military, one thing that we didn't mention actually in wake of the protests is that the Marine Corps and the Navy are doing what they can to ban anything with any sort of Confederate symbolism. So that's outstanding. So 2 of the I think 5 armed services, or 5 or 6, are doing great things there. And even though we just talked about Trump with an interview on Fox News, what happened with Fox News and good old Tucker Carlson, Lydia?
Yes, speaking of Fox News, they got busted.
Yeah, and
according to the Seattle, oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, do you know what Fox News's slogan is? Like their tagline, it's fair and balanced. So this is going to be kind of funny. Yeah, because it says like Fox News fair and balanced. So this is just funny going into this.
This is not fair or balanced. According to the Seattle Times, Fox News published digitally altered and misleading photos on stories about Seattle's Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, also known as Chaz, in what photojournalism experts are calling a clear violation of ethical standards for news organizations. This doctored photo came with a story on how demonstrators have taken over several city blocks on Capitol Hill after the Seattle police abandoned the East Precinct. Fox's photos featured a man standing with a military-style rifle in front of a smashed retail storefront. Turns out the photo was a mashup of photos from different days taken by different photographers. Fox denied the claims at first, then later posted an apology on their website.
So that's hilarious.
Awkward.
And speaking of the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, aka Chaz, did you ever play the old Sonic games growing up?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so you had like Green Hill Zone and stuff like that. Somebody made a meme that says Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone.
Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone.
Yeah, and it's a Sonic level, which is hilarious. So that is great.
That is funny.
Yeah, and I don't want to take this from you because this one's all about the PlayStation 5. So you can do that one, and I'll talk about the PC one.
Oh, sure. So in our gaming news, they did reveal PlayStation 5 last week, coming out with 2 consoles, one with a hard disk drive and one without a disk drive. That means you would only have to buy digital copies. They still haven't announced the price. It does have a very sleek design. It has white edges and a black middle. But people are going crazy with the memes, Steven. I'm sure you've seen them. Most of them are router related.
Oh, yes, yes.
But others are taking like white pieces of paper and just like smashing random things because that's kind of what it looks like.
Oh, have you,
it's hilarious.
My favorite meme that I saw was the one where they made it look like Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh! He has like his white cloak. Have you seen that one? Yeah, it's so good. Then I think, hang on, let me see what the
good.
Give me 1 second. The caption I think was you're a fifth rate gamer with a 4th rate console, something like that. Hang on, I need to look at that really quick. If I can find it.
So funny.
If not, no worries. Dang it, yeah, I can't find it. Okay, but anyway, yeah, the Kaiba memes are hilarious. So it is weird because both the Xbox Series X and the PS5 took very different design approaches. Like they both look good, I think. But the Xbox One definitely, or the Xbox Series X, I think took a more like minimalist approach because it's literally just a black tower. And the PS5...
Yeah, it looks like a computer tower.
Right, yeah. And then the PS5 looks like this... piece of equipment from the future, but it doesn't look too future-y, like kind of like how Back to the Future Part 2 was. So I think both of both the console designs are good, and I'm excited to see how the PS5 is. I know Blake Westerby was stoked about the PS5, and he said all the games, that were announced look really good. And speaking of games for the PS5, what do we have?
So they announced it was an hour and 15 minutes worth of actual games and gameplay. So PlayStation did a good job of not doing what Microsoft did and actually showed gameplay for most of these games.
Yeah.
We've got Spider-Man Miles Morales, which hasn't been announced if it's its own game or if it's a DLC for the Spider-Man that just came out last year, I believe. Project Thea, which was a beautiful game. It looked amazing. And then Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which was super cool. It was like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse featuring Ratchet and Clank. Like that you were jumping into wormholes and doing all kinds of cool stuff. And I don't know if you've ever played Ratchet and Clank, but it is an old PS1, PS2 Ratchet and Clank. So that was kind of a throwback. And then there was so much more. It would have taken me a whole hour to talk about all the things, but you can definitely look online for all of that information. We are excited about it here in the Malden Winford household.
Gotcha. It does look really cool. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to buy either console just because I normally play games on my Switch and my PC, but definitely as far as presentation goes, PS5 took the cake there easily because Microsoft's weird Twitter thing that they did was very underwhelming. It was very uncomfortable. But the PS5 one, Sony was just straight up flexing. Like, it looked really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ratchet and Clank. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just saying with Ratchet and Clank, I played Up Your Arsenal. That was the first one that I played for PS2. And the guns in that game are hilarious. Like, you had like the Quackinator and stuff like that.
So funny.
Yeah. That would, turn your enemies into sheep and things like that. So it was really cool. Yes, and then we also had the PC Gamer Show, which featured games such as Battle State Games announced their new Escape from Tarkov map called Streets, and it looks amazing. Lydia has been playing a lot of Escape from Tarkov, and she is very pumped for that. And other than that, nothing really amazing to report. So kind of like what we predicted earlier with E3 being canceled is that the different developers, studios, and manufacturers are all doing their own showcases, which is kind of cool because you can kind of like pick and choose which ones you want to see and which ones you don't want to see. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Nintendo has to say this upcoming month, but they've been kind of quiet.
Nintendo, no, normally Nintendo, we can always count on Nintendo. This PC Gamer Show, it was weird. They're like a YouTube thing, and then they did an hour and a half of their like PC Gamer Show thing, and it was just a lot of the games they looked like they were built in 1995. So it was just not anything fun that you like to be super excited about,
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. So that's cool in the world of gaming. And Nintendo did announce the upcoming Paper Mario called Paper Mario and the Origami King, which looks super fun. Looks super fun. So we are excited for that. And I think they're still doing quite a bit of regular Animal Crossing updates, but I believe Nintendo should have a direct either later this month or in July. So I'm excited to see what Nintendo is going to come out with. So that's basically all we have in the basically the world and local news. But we do have news with us, Lydia. So what do we have going on here?
You want me to say it? Okay. Well, Steven started a new show on Twitch called Steven's Local Music Showcase. And if you guys listen to it, it was pretty awesome. It's a radio style call-in show where he plays games and talks with Team Stevia, chills, and listens to local artists. This will be happening bi-weekly, so please check out our socials for updates.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I pitched the idea to Lydia, and she said, go with it. So we did. We're trying to give our Twitch some love. And with as little notice as we gave on that, we had quite a bit of people come and hang out.
You did.
Yeah, and you renewed it for a second episode. So that's awesome. So the executives over here at Team Stevia allowed it to keep on going forth. So we are excited to continue it. And
it was fun. I liked it.
Yeah, just nice kind of chill vibes going on, playing chill games. Everything's just relaxing. So it was really cool. And then also the finals for season 2 of Stevia League, which is our Rocket League tournament, is this week. The date will be announced here very soon at 7 p.m. So it will either be on Tuesday or Thursday. And the final is GURP, which stands for Goober's Underground Rap Party, which just destroyed the entire bracket on the other side, versus Team Voldemort, which did the same thing on their side of the bracket. So it should be a really good final. So join us on Facebook to see who becomes the champions of Stevia League Season 2. And I will say, Lydia, even though our team did get eliminated in the first round, we are so far the only team to have not been swept. So
at least won one game, Steven.
Yeah, so technically we are in third place in terms of wins.
We're in third place.
So that's great. So I mean, that's kind of a really fun thing. And then we have a huge guest announcement. So Lydia, who do we have coming on the show in July?
Steven, I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to let you do it, pal. You're real excited. Let's do it.
I think we're both really excited.
Yeah. But come on.
Oh, okay, fine.
for
Okay.
it.
So we have coming on the show in July, I believe the episode will be released on July the 13th. Yes. So here in just a few weeks, we have Kojo Asamoah Caesar coming on the Stevia show. It is going to be a awesome interview. He is our first political candidate that we've ever had on the show, and he is running for Oklahoma's first congressional district. So he is going to be taking on Kevin Hearn, who is our current representative, replacing Jim Bridenstine, who is now the NASA director. And Jim Bridenstine, he's actually the one who did that really cool comeback story where he was a climate change denier and now he believes in it. So that's pretty neat.
I believes.
Yeah, that's pretty neat that
Now he's the head of NASA.
yeah. But anyway, thankfully he changed his opinion. But yes, so we are very excited to have Kojo on the show. He is again running for our first congressional district. We will be hearing all from him, and if he wins, he will represent Tulsa at the national level, and we surely hope he does because his story is so great. We don't want to get too much into it because we'll let him tell it, of course. But I do want to bring up his education. He has 2 degrees, one from Old Dominion University and then one from the College of William and Mary. And for those of you playing at home, those are not lightweight schools. Like, those are very prestigious institutions. So we are super stoked to talk to him, and we are looking very forward to it.
Super stoked.
And I think you all will really enjoy the episode.
Yeah, heck yeah, they will.
Yeah.
So I think that's about it, Steve-O.
Yeah, I think so too. So we will, of course, be back for episode 83. We're not too sure if Lydia will be with us for this episode, so stay tuned because she may be going back home to Iowa. So we will need to wait and see what happens there. But if so, we've got you covered. And we do have, of course, all of our social media accounts. You can follow us with the handle @The Show, and be sure to subscribe to the podcast on whichever app you listen to. If you're on YouTube, search for The Stevia Show and subscribe with that notification button. Be sure to smash the bell, or whatever they say.
Smash that bell.
Ring that
We'd
bell.
like to We'd like to thank our anchor producers for their continued support. You can support us for as little as 99 cents a month and receive exclusive Discord roles and bonus episodes every month.
Yes, and we have a bonus episode coming out Friday. We promise. Friday. If it is not here on Friday, we will do something drastic. But anyway, yes, so we will have a bonus episode out Friday just with COVID and the pandemic and all of our programming changes. Stevia League. We've been busy over here at Team Stevia, so at least we can say we've been providing you with a lot of content during this and hopefully entertaining you. But bonus episodes will resume Friday. One more time. Friday. Yes. So be there or be square. And then finally, we also have merchandise available through our links in the bio. When you visit us online, check out our link tree and click on merch. We ship nationwide as well. So check it out. If you live in Orlando, New Mexico, Massachusetts, California, Georgia, or what was the other one? Washington, D.C. Those were the 6 ones from Joe Biden. So there we go. We will ship to you. So I always try to think of a place that we mentioned earlier. Oh, Seattle. There's a bonus one. If you live in Chaz.
Kentucky.
Oh, and Kentucky. If you live in Chaz, we will send you one because we support the protests and we're stoked about that. So I think... I thought you said, oh, we do, but I heard you say, yeah, we do. My bad. Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do. Okay, cool. All right, Team Stevia. Well, we are glad to be back, and we will see you all next week. Be sure to tune in on our Facebook, on our Twitch, because we are providing you all the content that Tulsa has to offer, featuring all of Tulsa's best people. And for now, this is Steven.
This is Lydia.
And we will see you all later.
Bye.
Bye.